Hello everyone, welcome to Sade's Tarot Tea. So today guys, I am doing a reading on XXXTentacion. I think that's how you say his name. I probably really butchered that and I apologize for any X fans. So during this reading, I'm just gonna call him X. I looked up his actual name and I didn't even really know how to say that. I just looked it up, like what his actual name is. I didn't really, I wanted to go into this reading just as much of a blank space as possible, guys. Can I just say, everyone has been requesting me. I know I said that in a couple of my other videos, but a lot of you guys have been requesting me to do him. I just held out because I'm like, I don't know like if I should or whatnot, but I'm gonna go ahead and read on X and see what comes out. Guys, please keep this in mind. I am just reporting the messages I hear from the spiritual, so sometimes that may come through and resonate. You know, certain messages I feel like X might want me to say that you guys won't understand, so that's what happens when I pull on people who have passed away. I went ahead and meditated a little bit. I want to meditate a little bit more just to get into X's energy. I pulled some cards for him already that actually popped out right away, which let me know that X was okay with me reading on him. Before we get started, actually, I want to go ahead and look up his chart. Let me see. And guys, sorry I look a little busted today. I didn't really feel like getting dressed up for this because I wanted the message to not even be about me or anything to be about me. I wanted the messages and this reading, of course, to be about him. So I will post his birth chart up top here, or excuse me, at on one of these sides here. X was in Aquarius sun with his moon in Scorpio, his Mercury in Capricorn, Venus in Capricorn, Mars in Aquarius, and unfortunately they do not have his rising sign. So that's quite all right. We'll just keep on keeping on with his reading. So the first thing that came out for him was, I'm feeling like there were a lot of people that praised X, but also like hated him. Like they hated him and they loved him at the same time. I'm hearing that they hated me and they loved me. They hated me because I did things that would push boundaries. I did things and I said things that would make people second guess my motives, which is very moon in Scorpio. He always I'm hearing him say I was always guilty even when I wasn't. I was always accused even when I wasn't. I also feel like X had a bright future ahead of him, but he kept getting caught up. I keep hearing praise, guys. He kept getting caught up in the praise. He kept getting caught up in the selfishness of the praise, if that makes sense. He's telling me he was very humble, or his version of humble, he'd like to say. I heard him say. His version of humble he was. But at the same time, he was one of the cockiest bastards he's ever met. And I don't usually say bastards, but I'm hearing I was one of the cockiest bastards you've ever met. Or I'm hearing either he's saying that or someone is saying that around him. I feel like X actually has a couple of ancestors that are in heaven, of course, like we all do. But he has a couple of, I see an older man around him, like an older African-American gentleman around him. So I don't know if X was, if he was also African-American, or like I said, if he was just Latin, or maybe he just really praised Latin culture. Guys, let me know. Like I said, I don't know anything about him, but that's what I'm hearing. You know, he had a lot of people that loved him and hated him. He had a lot of people that wanted to see him do good, that were on his side when he was young. He had a lot of people that were rooting for him to go to college. He's telling me he didn't really have a stable home, but he had a good upbringing in a way to where he was able to decipher right from wrong, if that makes sense. I'm getting that he had a strict father. If the father was present, the father, as much as I'm feeling he wasn't, but he could have been present or kind of like in and out of X's life. But I'm seeing a father figure of some sort was around him, and also that he would use his words to really set X straight. Like there was a very strong what am I trying to say? There was a very strong influence of a male around X. So this could either be like a father figure, an uncle, a grandfather, someone that mentored him. I'm getting more of like a mentor energy, someone that was like a father or was a father to, or was his father. So let me know, guys, as I always say. He was very dependent on this person. He was very, very dependent on this person. Like, this person was someone he ran to with all of his issues. This person was someone, this male energy was someone, it could also be a woman, but I'm getting a strong male influence in X's life that really tried to set him straight. Really tried to keep him on the straight and narrow. I also feel like X was someone that was very hard-headed. He didn't do, he's laughing as I say this. I hear him like, yeah, that's right. Like, that's what I heard. Yeah, that's right. I don't know if he talks like that. I heard a quick interview of him, but I didn't really pay attention. Yeah, he was someone, guys, that, as you might know being his fan, he was someone that... He was very hard-headed. He didn't like people telling him what to do, and that could be the Aquarian in him. That could be the Scorpio, whatever his risings, and he could be a fire rising. Unfortunately, we don't know his fire. Unfortunately, we don't know his rising sign. It could be, I feel like it was in fire or something strong, because he came off very strong. He has a very strong energy about him, very strong presence. He was someone that always was making forward movement. Even, he really loves the way people love him. He loves the way people hate him too. He is influenced by it all. He gets inspired by it all. He loves it. He doesn't really get down on himself. He's very, I wouldn't say he's like super duper cocky. He kind of came through and said that about him being kind of cocky. But I do feel like he was someone that he walked in a room, heads turned, people looked at him, he didn't care how he came across to other people on the outside, but on the inside, I'm picking up on a little boy that was lost and kind of like scared, but you wouldn't normally like see that, and he doesn't like, even as I kind of say that, he's like getting a little uncomfortable because this was a side of him that he didn't want people to see. You know, there were he's had a couple of near-death experiences I'm picking up on. I also pick up on that he was very guarded, and as I said that the strength card is in the reverse. He was somebody that was very guarded. He was someone that did not trust people as far as he could throw them. He was someone that really took people at their face value. Like, really, if someone showed him their true colors, he believed them. Like, he was like, that's who you are. Okay. And that is his moon in Scorpio. Now, if someone pulled the wool over his eyes, he watched them even more closely. He found his haters, his motivators, so to speak. He was also someone that I feel like had a hard time letting go of his control issues. He had a hard time. It was really hard on him that he didn't have the type of relationship he wanted with his father, if his father was present, or like I said, with his male influence. He wanted to be closer to this male influence. I don't know if this was Nipsey or if it was, I know people correlate their deaths, but maybe it's not. I'm picking up on it's an older gentleman. It's an older, wiser energy. Not saying Nipsey's not wise, but it was definitely someone that was, he was older. He feels like an old soul that X really looked up to. I feel like when X dedicated his soul to people, he really gave his all. He was just reaching the pivot of his career when he passed. Feel like there was a little bit of discontent with the mother as well, or this love interest in his life. I feel like there was someone he kept going back to, or he kept cheating on this one girl with, he kept cheating on this one girl that he really cared about. Which makes no sense, because when you care about somebody, you wouldn't hurt them, right? But I'm hearing that X didn't really know better because he wasn't shown better. That's what I hear from him. I didn't know better because I wasn't shown better. So that's already giving me a lot of information on him. I'm going to go ahead and pull more cards on him. So let's go ahead and look at where he is in his transitioning. Let's go ahead and look at where X, can you tell me where you are in your transitioning? I actually feel like X is having a really hard time, guys, passing on. He actually has not passed on, I'm seeing. It's been really hard for him because there are a lot of people that actually keep tugging at him, keep pulling him into the lower realms of heaven. Also, there are some things in his life that he is having a really, or was in his life, excuse me, having a really hard time with letting go of. So it's been very difficult for X to pass, or to, to transition fully. I keep hearing he needs to let go of his control. I keep hearing that. Yeah, guys, even now as I say that, he's still very much he's still very much here. He's still very present, which explains why I can hear him so clearly. It's been really, really tough on X passing. I'm picking up on a little girl too. Does he have a daughter or someone that was like a daughter to him, or he took on a daughter-like figure? Yeah. Let's see. This, I do want to see if he had any kids. Okay, guys, sorry. I was actually picking up that he does have a baby, but the baby is a boy, not a girl. This child feels very, very feminine to me. Yeah, this child feels very feminine. So even though it's a boy, it's okay. Like, the boy just might have a lot of you know, things that are feminine about the boy. Could also, in the long run, the child could be gay, you know, could be that. Not saying that will happen, but that could be why I'm picking up on so much feminine energy from the boy. Neither here nor there. Yeah, I'm picking up on a child around X. Maybe there was also some type of miscarriage with one of his girlfriends. Maybe he got one of his girlfriends at the time, or when he was younger, you know, like preteens, or hopefully not preteens, teens into adulthood. Maybe I don't know how old he was. I'll put that here, but I'm picking up on also a young girl being around him. So it could be a cousin, or the boy could just have a lot of feminine energy, or he could just he could have looked after a girl that was a part of his family, or someone that really looked up to him as like a father. I also feel like a lot of people, I did hear about this, a lot of younger kids looked up to him too, and people in the industry looked up to him as like a household name. And I'm seeing with my partnerships and alliances, I'm seeing that X was making he was building his foundation, he was building his unity with people. He was kind of like Nipsey was doing. He was building his movement, his own form of movement. He's getting victory and success in the reverse. So as we know, he has passed away. So I feel like his demons just kind of got the best of him. I'm picking up on some type of addiction. I'm picking up on gang activity really hard. Not just saying that because he has tattoos. I'm literally picking up on that. Or just being not maybe he wasn't in a gang, but he was around gang like activity a lot. I'm also picking up on that he was murdered. So let me see if that's true, if he was in fact murdered. So guys, like I told you, I picked up on that X was murdered, so I want to go ahead and look into that. I'm seeing, as I looked it up, I actually just Googled it, and it says that he was assassinated. And I did pick up on it being manslaughter. Okay, and that it was bad. Like, even though, like I said in my earlier video, in my video, he was loved and hated at the same time. So I feel like a lot of people didn't want to see him, you know, they didn't want to see him propel. They didn't want to see him grow. I also feel like, you know, X kind of pushed buttons on people. He liked to move in harmony. He liked to do things in private. He was a very private guy, especially with his emotions, very shy about his emotions, but at the same time, he had his very cocky moments. And when X would have his very cocky moments, he would have his very cocky moments. And he just rubbed people the wrong way, unfortunately. A lot of people, he just rubbed the wrong way. And Unfortunately, this caught up with him. I'm actually seeing him shake hands with someone that hated him. He was trying to form alliances. He was trying to make peace, I'm hearing, with certain people that he felt, or people would tell him, wanted him dead. He was one that liked to keep his enemies close, but he liked to keep his friends close, but his enemies closer for sure. But this one person I'm picking up on really, really wanted to kill him. And as I said, that rejoice in celebration, I do feel like once they found out that he was murdered, I felt like the people, before they were caught, or I'm picking up on 3 people. 3 people were a part of this. And then 3 others were against it. I'm picking up on a gang. So that was a total of 6. So 3 and 3, 6 I'm being pointed to. 2 3s and a 6. 3 plus 3, 6. So I'm picking up on 6 people, which, you know, there could be more. Yeah, 6. So I'm seeing that he rubbed the wrong. This was gang activity, guys. This was gang related. I don't know how much else I can explain this. Or I'm picking up that I'm seeing them either doing it with a gun or doing it with a knife. I'm seeing 2 options. One was to stab him. The other was to shoot him. So he probably was shot, but maybe they used the knife to make sure he was dead. So let me know if you guys know about that. That's what I'm seeing. It's very brutal. The way he died was very brutal. Regardless of how you put it. Gun or knife, very brutal. I feel like he left a lot of... X knew he was gonna die. He knew his time on this earth was short. He knew. He was very intuitive, by the way, guys. Very intuitive. His Scorpio moon. Very intuitive. He actually would have dreams about him getting shot repeatedly. I'm picking up on. Or hit in a... Or he was, he had a big fear of drowning, I'm hearing, and car accidents. And, not so much guns. Yeah, triumph in the reverse. Disruption in the reverse. Spiritual strength. Yeah, guys, he's not doing so well in the spiritual realm. I'm picking up on. He's not resting peacefully. His heart feels very heavy. I feel the pain. It hurts. But in a sense, he's learning to let it go. He's learning. It's been hard. Especially when he... You know, the more he thinks about how he left his, you know, his girlfriend, or he left so many people that cared about him. I feel like, too, a lot of people were giving him, like, warning signs. Like, don't do that. Don't do that, X. Don't, you know, choose wisely. I feel like a lot of people were giving X signs to stay out of the gang life or stay away from people that were a part of that life. I feel like he wanted, if he was in the gang, I'm feeling like he wanted out or he wanted away from that gang life. But like I said, he made too many enemies. And you know, gang activity, you know, you being in that gang life, once you leave, it's hard for them to let you go, basically, is what I'm picking up on for him too, and I've heard. Yeah, intuition, truth, yeah. He's telling me to speak his truth, and he's saying that he was very, very intuitive. He knew things were going to happen before they happened. He actually saw himself dying before he died. That's crazy. He saw himself dying. He said, sure, it may have happened differently, but it happened, and he knew it would. But when it happened, it was too late, you know? He would try to avoid certain areas. Like, I keep hearing alleyways. Like, I'm hearing he would try not to go into certain areas. When he would walk down the street, he would try to have bodyguards with him. As he got more famous, he would try to, even though he didn't reach a big pivot in his career, he was reaching that, you know. He would try to, that's crazy, I'm being pointed to this knife, he's saying. He would try to avoid certain alleyways. He would try to not walk down certain areas where he knew that there was trouble, where he knew that there was something lurking in the corner for him, basically, is what I'm hearing. I feel like more stuff is going to come out about X. You know, the more we channel him, the more we pull on him. Like I said, guys, he's very intuitive. He would question a lot of things having to do with religion. Ever since he was really young, he would question why certain things work the way they do, why there's a God, why there's this. I mean, don't we all? But he really questioned it. And he's seeking that quest in heaven. He's seeking to find his own truth. And I'm also feeling like he's in a loophole. I feel like he's in a loophole. I feel like it's been really hard for him to come to terms with the fact that he died. I do see him passing soon, though, guys. I do see fully transitioning. I mean, excuse me. I do see him fully transitioning over. So that's good. He is finding that truth. He still has a long way to go. He's not in solitude yet. You know, he is still in it's saying that he's still, he's not okay. He's not okay with the way things happen. I keep getting that. He's not okay with the way he died. He's not okay with the way things happen. I keep hearing him say, I'm not okay with the way I died. I'm not okay with my truth. Like, people aren't speaking my truth. They're not speaking my legacy. What I tried to leave on this earth. Sure, I wasn't here, he's saying. Sure, I wasn't here for a long time, but he feels he made a big impact. He made a big impact with the youth as well. So that's what I'm picking up on. Thank you, X. So I want to know, he had a hard time taking a break, had a hard time relaxing. I mean, it makes sense. He has, I think he had Mercury and, sorry, I think he had his Mars in Capricorn. No, Mars in Aquarius. Okay. He keeps getting the 9 of Pentacles in the reverse, so that's telling me he was very codependent. Very codependent on people, on addictions. He's also saying to me as well. His father, I keep getting his father wasn't around as much as he would like, but his actual father, but there was a man that stepped in and was a father figure to him, he is telling me. There was someone that stepped in and was like a father to me. He also is saying that the gang life, that whole life was my family. That whole life was my solitude, was my way of living. And now he has to deal without it, and it's just been really, really hard for him. He really admires his mom. I'm hearing his mom come out. Same guy is coming out. That came out in the beginning, this King of Swords energy. Watching over him, very overbearing, very... And this could be his father too. I mean, we could still, I'm seeing 2 men in his life. There was one man that was very emotional with him. You know, there was one man that was very stern and to the point with him. And one of these guys could be his father. I'm seeing them either way be both present, but his father nonetheless wasn't there the way he wishes he was. But I do see a male, like, I see male energy very present with him. So let me know, guys, if his father was in his life. I'm seeing, it could be his father that I'm picking up on. I'm not saying it's not. He's saying it's not his father. So he's saying that it was someone that was very close with him. He's very private about this person. This person knows who, he's saying this person knows who they are. But they were very, very respectful to everyone they met. They were very respectful to me, never talked down on me. He's saying that it's something he wasn't used to. He wanted to be that father figure for other people, that father figure for the youth as well, for people that were struggling like he was, people in the gang life. He wanted to show them that you can get out no matter your circumstances. He grew up very poor. He didn't have a lot of money. His family struggled a lot. Yeah, Two of Pentacles. Very hard to make ends meet. Yeah, it was very hard. His mother was very emotionally unstable as well, but he loves his mom. But she wasn't present as much either, but she was present, if that makes sense. She was busy working a lot, but that's why she wasn't as present, because she was a single mom. Most of the time it felt like she was a single mom. That's what he's saying. He wanted a different life for himself, honestly, guys. He wanted to do better. He wanted to do right. I do see that in these cards, and even in my other deck, I'm seeing that. He wanted to do right. He didn't want to stay in this life. In that life. He's telling me that when he was young, he was a bad kid. He's saying that his mom would kick him out a lot. She would kick him out of the house. He'd be like, fine, I'm not coming back then. And she's like, good. Like, they would have, like, blow-ups like that. He said a lot of, he's saying, excuse me, guys, sorry. He's saying a lot of the praise did get to his head. A lot of feeling invincible. He felt very invincible at times. He felt like he could do anything. He felt like he could move and do whatever he wanted. A lot of times too, when he was younger, he would sneak around a lot, do things behind his back, his mom's back, whoever was mentoring him, he would get in trouble a lot. He was the class clown. But he was also someone who wanted to always remain in control and be well loved. I mean, there was a side of him that there was a very soft side of him that he didn't like showing people. It's that Scorpio and that Aquarius, you know, and that Capricorn in his chart. But he didn't like showing that to people. He's also telling me at times he could be very stingy with his money because he wasn't used to having money. So when he got money, he was very stingy with it, but he was also very giving with it to the people that he felt deserved it. Very intuitive. He keeps telling me he was very psychic, very intuitive. He's so funny. He has this very boastful, cocky energy about him. I keep saying that, guys, but it's true. He's like, well, you know, I can do that too. You know, I'm good like that. Yeah. He said he loves to make money. He loves making money. That was like his first love. First love, Ace of Cups. It's hard for him to walk away from that life that he was so used to having. He was getting accustomed to the life, and it caught up with him. Okay, guys, so I did a little bit of research. I'm seeing that this ex, I did pull on his ex-girlfriend. I want to see what he meant to her. How did X feel about his ex? That sounds funny. He has so much love and respect for her. Apparently they're talking about some type of abuse that happened with him and his ex. We're going to look into how she feels about him, but I'm seeing on his end that he feels very spiritually at peace with her. They still actually talk. They still actually connect. So I don't know what his girlfriend's sign is. She could have a lot of water in her chart or some type of intuitive energy, but I'm seeing that they really connect. He wanted a future with her. He wanted good opportunities with her. He wanted to include her in him winning. He wanted to build with her, is what I'm hearing. How did he feel about her? Yeah, he wanted a new beginning with her. He wanted a new beginning with her. They were actually talking about getting back together, I'm hearing. Yeah, as I said that, the Eight of Pentacles. Yeah, he wanted to build with her. He really saw his future with her, or her being in his future, her being in his life. But unfortunately, a lot of the things that he was into, she wasn't into. Or she wasn't as heavily into it as he was. Or they just couldn't see eye to eye. There was a lot of defeat around their relationship. There was a lot of misunderstandings, miscommunications. I am picking up on, we're going to go ahead and see, It says allegedly rapper abused her to appear. Okay, so it's talking about he was being abusive so that she, the devil just came out. Yes. Seeing that there was really a lot of toxic things going on in their relationship, a lot of toxic things. So I'm seeing that that his ex-girlfriend felt very trapped in the relationship. She felt very unhappy, very confused, very upset, especially when he passed away. There were a lot of unanswered questions that she wanted, but she never got the answers to. He snuck around on her a lot. I'm seeing he did cheat on her a lot. Unfortunately, I'm bringing that into his reading because I know some people are going to be curious about that, and you know, I wanted this video to be a bit longer. He had a lot of demons that X had a lot of demons that he was battling, nor am I judging him for these things. But like I said, guys, he is trying to let go of all of that. And he is trying, like I said, they are talking in the spiritual. So he is trying to make things up to her in the spiritual. Especially so she could have a clear passing when she passes away. Her cards are very different than his. Her energy is very different than his. Hers is, she felt abused by him. She felt controlled by him. She felt like he wasn't honest with her. She felt very unfulfilled in the relationship emotionally, and so she ended up distancing herself. She also felt very distant from him. She felt like, you know, even when they were sleeping in the same bed, she felt so alone. Yeah, as I said, that the Five of Pentacles, I pulled that one out. She felt so alone when she was with him, and on guard, and just hurt because he was not honest. Especially I'm hearing her say, like, where are you going? You know, she would wonder where he was going a lot of times. He would just walk out. Like I said, he's very hard-headed. He doesn't like explaining. He doesn't like people telling him what to do. And this was a part of him that he couldn't drop. He couldn't let this go. I am seeing that she was having his child. She wanted commitment from him. She wanted him to be committed to her, guys. But he just had a hard time committing. He had a hard time doing that. What is his Venus in? Let me see. Oh, his Venus is in Capricorn. Okay. Yeah, I'm hearing he was married to his money. He was married to his craft. And at times, she didn't feel like she fit in. She felt like she wouldn't fit into that life. She tried to be a little groupie, in a sense, with him to just keep him, but deep down at her core, guys, I'm feeling like that's not who she felt she was. And she eventually left. She felt very trapped, yeah, and I'm seeing that she left. And this was, they were still in communication a bit before he passed away, but, you know, he was pushing for it. He was pushing for them to be on better terms because he felt like he was gonna die. He kept feeling this energy of having to watch his back, you know, being tied to his demons, being tied to the money, being tied to everything that he's done in the past. He kept feeling like his karma was coming. Because I'm not gonna lie to you guys, although this is, you know, me trying to see X's side, to wrap up this reading, I am seeing that he, you know, none of us are perfect, nor am I judging X for that, for his past. He is trying to get better. He is trying to make amends with that in the spiritual. But he moved very selfishly. He moved very selfishly, guys. But he's trying to change in the spiritual. And that's probably why he can't fully transition, because he feels all of this guilt and he's still reaping his karma, if that makes sense. So yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this reading on X. It was a little dark, but I'm glad I did it. I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. Like I said, and he wasn't perfect. None of us are. I myself am not judging him for anything that has been done or he said or he's done to other people, of what I've heard. And I hope you guys don't either. Hope you guys continue to pray for him and anyone that actually really loved him. And for his son, you know, pray for his son, for his ex-girlfriend, you know. I hope I covered everything. If not, then Maybe if I do a recap video, I will touch on what you guys want me to touch on. Okay, guys, I hope I said everything, but if I didn't, oh well. Love and light, guys. Bye.